Does methamphetamine cause psychotic episodes and violent rages? No. It's Ryan from the Melbourne Centre of Healing here. And something's been highlighted to me over the last week or so. I've done a couple of talks, and out there in the public, the fear, the judgement and the misinformation is at an all-time high when it comes to this subject. And I really want to just try and straighten a few things out today. Now, I know that there's a lot of people, or some people, that won't agree with what I'm going to say in this video, and that's fine. It's an emotive topic. I mean, a lot of people out there have lost a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, a cousin, a partner, or someone to this addiction or any type of addiction. So there's a lot of emotion around it and a lot of conflicting views. One thing that I'm sure we can all agree on the fact that anyone who's battling addiction, we want them to get better. Because it sucks. I know, I've been there, and I don't wish it on my worst enemy. And anyone out there who's battling, we want them to get better. So when it comes to people being open and wanting help, when they're being met with fear and judgment, are they more likely or less likely to be open to getting help? They're going to be less likely, okay? They're being backed into a corner when they come out with those emotions, okay? It's like any human or any animal on the planet Earth. When you're backed into a corner, you will come at people with defensiveness. So I want to straighten a few things out here. There's a lot on the media at the minute, in newspapers, on television, and a lot of it's rubbish, to be quite honest. But that's fine. I mean, what's the job of a newspaper or a television outlet? It's about money. It's about grabbing people's attention. Their number one focus is grabbing people's attention. What's the best way to grab people's attention? Fear. Fear grabs our attention like nothing else. It plays into the old parts of our brain, which lights us up so we look at stuff. So fear sells more papers and makes more advertising dollars than anything else. So for starters, there's the public perception that if you try methamphetamine or ice, you're going to be hooked. It's simply not the case. The numbers are around 20% of people who try the drug end up with a dependence or an addiction. That means 80% of people aren't developing a problem with the drug. Okay, let's go then to that 20%. What percentage of that 20% with a dependence or addiction have a psychotic episode or a violent rage? Once again, it's a very, very small percentage of that 20%, a very small percentage. But because that's all we see on the media, we think that it's everyone. It's simply not the case. So then, of that very small percentage, is that caused by the drug itself? No, it is caused by sleep deprivation. The sleep deprivation is a far bigger cause of these psychotic episodes and violent rages than the actual drug itself. Sleep deprivation is one of the most harmful things that we can do to our health. Take ice or methamphetamine out of the equation and let's just look at the other factors here. If you force yourself to not sleep, after 24 hours, so normally we'll be awake for like 16 hours in a day. So if you add 8 hours to that, so you're awake for a 24-hour period, the effect on your cognition is that of driving under the influence of alcohol at 0.1%. So simply by going that extra 8 hours without sleep, it's like you're driving at twice the legal limit of alcohol here in Victoria. Take that forward now from 24 hours to 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and you can be awake for 4 to 7 days. Okay? Combine that with the fact that you're not eating properly, you're not drinking enough water. You take the drug out of the equation and you go those 4 to 7 days, you'll be hallucinating, you'll be seeing and hearing things that aren't there. The prefrontal cortex of your brain, which is in charge of your critical thinking, it shuts down. So you're left with the old reptilian part of the brain, which is in charge of emotions. And you've got some serious suppressed and repressed emotions if you do have an addiction. So I can tell you now from a harm minimization point of view, the message I'm trying to get across here is that if you are using methamphetamine, then be open to getting help. Whenever you're ready to get help, there's people out there who will non-judgmentally help you get back on track in life. But in the meantime, make sure you are getting sleep. If not every night, then at least every second night, because it's no fun for the person to have a psychotic episode. It sucks, and we want to avoid that because it's not fun for anyone. I knew plenty of people in my time when I was in the scene who had used meth every day for years. But guess what? They slept every night. They had jobs, they had families, and they never had any hallucinations or psychotic episodes because they didn't suffer from that sleep deprivation. So I want to keep that in mind. And remember, please, when we're dealing with anyone, a loved one, with a problem, with an addiction of any kind, come at it with compassion and love, and not with this fear and judgment that's being trounced around in the media, which is absolute rubbish. All right, that's all from me today, guys. Peace.